Karibu sana to things you don't learn in school. Today we pull back the curtain on something most Kenyans still treat like chance, and that is wealth. Not the loud, short-term type, but steady generational wealth. The kind that keeps feeding families long after salaries stop. If you stay to the end, you'll see why time is not your enemy, what the Bible already teaches about money management, and how to start building even with little. So let's focus on the story of two friends that are close to me, that were carrying out the same hustle and in different timings. So meet Amina and Brian. Amina starts saving at 23. She earns 45,000 Kenyan shillings, saves 8,000 Kenyan shillings monthly between her SACCO and the money market fund, which we call MMF. Brian waits until 33 to begin, and he begins investing Kenyan shillings 10,000 every month. After 20 years, Amina holds an equivalent of 5.3 million Kenya shillings, diversified in the SACCO and the MMF, while Brian, after 10 years, holds Kenya shillings 1.9 million. They all applied the same effort, but they started on different dates and time. But time multiplied Amina's money more. This mirrors Luke chapter 16, verse 10 to 12, that says, "He who is faithful in little things will also be faithful in much. If you have not been faithful in handling unrighteous mammon, that is money and possessions, who will entrust you the true riches?" So Amina's early consistency is faithfulness in the little. Brian's delay cost him doubling periods that never return. God's principle and financial principle both agree that you need to start where you are and stay consistent. Let's look at the math and rule of 72. The rule of 72 explains compounding this way, that 72 divided by the interest rate equals to years to double. 72 divided by the interest rate equals to years to double. At 9%, money doubles every 8 years. At 12%, it doubles after every 6 years. That's why time outranks income. If you start 10 years earlier, you add an extra doubling period. This connects to Galatians chapter 6, verse 9, that says, "And let us not lose heart and grow weary and faint in acting nobly and doing right. For in due time and at the appointed season we shall reap, if we do not lose and relax our courage and faint." So compounding is the financial version of sowing and reaping. So you need to stay planted long enough to harvest. Let's look at the Kenyan economic reality. Kenya's inflation was about 3.8% in June 2025. This is according to the report published by the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics. And Nairobi now hosts over $4,000 millionaires. These are people and Kenyans, $4,000 millionaires. Most hold wealth in real estate. And based on the study that was published by the Capital Markets Authority reports for 2020 to 2025, it showed that 60% of those dollar millionaires invested in real estate and SACCOs and money market funds, which was giving them a yield of 8 to 11%. So this shows that the environment rewards patience and productive saving. This reflects the principle that is in Proverbs 21, verse 20, that says, "There are precious treasures and oil in the dwelling of the wise, but a self-confident and foolish man swallows it up and wastes it." So wise Kenyans store value in assets that beat inflation, while the unwise consume every shilling. Remember, these Kenyans invested 60% of their income into real estate, and the rest they distributed it in SACCOs and money market funds. So what is the biblical anchor? In Ecclesiastes chapter 11 verse 2, it says that, I'm reading from the Amplified Classic Version, give a portion to 7, yes, even divide it to 8, for you do not know what misfortune may occur on the earth. In short, it's telling us keep investing because you don't know what will happen in the future. Save and invest. So that's a 3,000-year-old diversification advice. Modern finance calls it asset allocation, but Solomon called it prudence. Solomon also tells us in Proverbs chapter 22 verse 3 that a prudent man sees the evil and hides himself, but the simple pass on and are punished with suffering. So, planning, insurance, emergency funds, all are modern ways of hiding yourself before trouble hits. So, before I leave you, I'd like to leave you with the 5 practical steps or principles for growth. Number 1, protect first. Before investing, secure an emergency fund and clear high interest debt. That's living Proverbs 22 verse 3 in practice. Avoid the cycle of borrowing to survive because you cannot build while bailing water. Number 2, start early and stay consistent. In Luke chapter 16 verse 10, we are taught that we are taught about stewardship in small things. If you can faithfully save 500 shillings each week, you are training your character for larger stewardship later. Consistency, not amount, earns God's trust and compounding's reward. Number 3, diversify intelligently. Ecclesiastes 11 verse 2 calls for 7 or 8 portions. In Kenya, that could mean an MMF, a SACCO, a small business, some land, and a skill course. Each is a seed in different soil. If drought hits one field, another still yields. Number 4, live below your means to grow. This is an old advice, but live below your means to grow. This is in line with Proverbs 21:20, which reminds us that the wise store treasure, the foolish waste it. So cut lifestyle, inflation. Let time, not ego, make you wealthy. So if you appreciate these lessons, like, comment, and share, and let's leverage on time to build wealth. See you on the next part.